With the increase in RAM and storage prices, I decided to do an incremental upgrade to my main video editing PC to help improve responsiveness in the video editor, as well as decrease render times for 4K video. Incremental upgrades such as this may become more necessary in the current market. I've been wanting to upgrade my PC for quite a while. It's the one I use for 4K video editing. And I'm still using a Ryzen 7 1700 CPU from 2018, and it's now 2026, so it's had a pretty good run. At one point in time, it was my main Proxmox server for several years, and then until I finally replaced it with a faster mini PC from Protectly, so it's more energy efficient and faster single-threaded and multi-thread performance. So I reutilized this hardware to be my main PC, and before that, I was even using an older Intel 4790K CPU, which was great for its time. And I bought it in, I think, 2014. So I used that for many years. I typically use all of my hardware for a long time. And most of the time, it doesn't die before I end up replacing it because I just need the extra performance. Because RAM and storage prices are really high right now because of various companies buying up all the hardware for AI data centers, I thought it would be good to stick with the AM4 platform and upgrade from a Ryzen 7 1700 to a Ryzen 7 5700X. So this upgrade will boost my CPU performance at least 40% according to Passmark scores. And I'm also be gaining PCIe 4.0 speeds for my NVMe and my GPU, which I didn't have before in my current system. So I still be gaining some performance in other areas, and it has built on 2.5 gigabit LAN instead of a 1 gigabit interface. So it's, I have some extra 2.5 gig cards laying around. It's kind of nice to have that built into the motherboard in case I want to use that. Even though this isn't like a massive upgrade, but for the price, it's pretty decent considering that both the motherboard and CPU, because I'm keeping the RAM, is a lot cheaper than a 32 gigs or 64 gigabyte RAM kit by itself. So I thought this would be a good incremental update. So maybe by the point in time I'm ready for the next upgrade, I'll be ready to get into some newer generation hardware. I'm going to be making use of some Be Quiet components to help me complete this upgrade. They sent me the Lightbase 500 PC case, the Pure Power 13M 1000 watt PSU, the Pure Loop 3LX AIO CPU cooler, and I'm also going to be making use of some RAM that I already had and NVMe storage that I already have from my current PC, and I'm going to be putting it in with this hardware to save a lot of money. Here's the Lightbase 500 case, and you can see it has 4 fans already, and I'm just going to leave them where they are because that's a good placement. And I'm just going to be putting the AIO cooler on the top because there's a place for a cooler or 3 more fans, so it's a perfect place for it. All of the Be Quiet power supplies are fully modular, which means you only need to include the connections that you need for the devices you're running inside your PC. In this Be Quiet case, you can put the power supply in the bottom corner, or you can even set it on top of that tray that you see above the power supply, but I'm going to stick it in the bottom corner since I don't need to have anything located down there. You'll need to take off the CPU cooler brackets so that you can replace them with the ones that come with the Be Quiet AIO cooler. Next, you put the spacers on where the screw holes are below the brackets, and then notice on the brackets here they show where the CPU direction is facing for the upper and lower brackets. You just need to make sure you have those facing the proper way. You'll see here that the CPU it says upper and lower, and the CPU directions inward to the CPU to make sure you have it properly set up. Next, we're going to install the CPU in the socket. You just lift up the metal bar and you just put the CPU into the socket carefully. This is always a nerve-wracking part of the installation to make sure you don't bend any CPU pins. And when you're done, you just push the metal bar down to lock the CPU into place. Mounted the motherboard in the Lightbase 500 case. And then for the AIO cooler, you can see the CPU fans, the direction on the side of the fans, and you have to install each of the fans on the AIO radiator. It doesn't come pre-installed for you, so you have to do it yourself. And you need to make sure you get the proper orientation. When I first did this, I actually didn't orient them exactly right, and all the cables are in the front of the case, and so I had to turn it around so that the cables are on the bottom of the radiator so it faces the back of the Lightbase case so the cables are hidden. It comes with a cable so that you can connect your AIO cooler fans to power and to a ARGB controller so that you can have all your lights synchronized. Now it's time to mount the AIO radiator to the top of the case. A little tricky to kind of line it up in there at first, but once you get it up under the case, it's just a matter of getting everything screwed into the top, and then you just mount the rest of it to the top of your case and it'll be nice and secure. Then you connect the fans to the ARGB controller as well as the power connection for the fans. The AIO comes with a little bit of thermal paste, but it's not quite enough to cover the CPU. As you can see here, if you try to smear that, you might barely be able to cover the CPU. So I ended up adding a little bit more just to make sure the CPU is covered better. There's a warning to tear off this tape before you use it, otherwise you're going to not have very good thermal contact with your CPU. Now I'm ready to place the AIO on the CPU. You just have to set it down on the bracket and then screw a little bit of each side slowly until you get it to the right tension, and you can tell when it gets tight, it's good enough. It comes with several decals that you can place on top of the AIO cooler to fit whatever style that you're looking for. You just peel one off and then you just place it on top of the AIO. Then it comes with a little smoked plastic cover. You just snap it in place. Then you need to connect it to the AIO pump header on the motherboard or to the CPU cooler header. And finally, connect the ARGB header to your motherboard or to your controller. Here's the completed system with the AIO installed and all the other components with the GPU, RAM, and NVMe storage. And here's a close-up of the AIO. It looks pretty neat with the little decal on it. Here's a look at the front with the angled fan design. I think that's an interesting design on PC cases if you like that kind of thing. And here's a peel for those who like that kind of thing. The temperatures seem to range in the upper 30 degrees Celsius, which is not too bad, and it kind of goes into the 40s occasionally when I'm opening things in the background. And when I do some video editing, it actually bumps it up to 52 degrees or so, but then it kind of drops to upper 40s, which I don't think is too bad. Full disclosure, Be Quiet sent me the PC case, the AIO cooler, and the power supply. And I bought the motherboard and CPU, and I furnished all the other components like my RAM and NVMe storage. They didn't get to see the video before I published it. I hope you enjoy following along on this budget-friendly upgrade that I did to my main PC. Trying to utilize hardware that I already have and trying to be smart with the upgrade to get a decent upgrade. Since I had older generation hardware, it was easy for me to still buy slightly older hardware that's still pretty fast performant compared to what I had before, and not have to spend a lot of money because I'm reusing all of the expensive components that I don't have to buy right now. And this hopefully will hold me over until I can do something else, years down the road. And so until next time, I'm Dustin Casto, and I'll catch you in the next video.